10 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. It's a Friday morning, 9th day of January. Welcome to our Bible study for this morning. We are in Genesis chapter 42. We're also on Facebook. Let's see, that would be LV Cornerstone would be the page for Facebook, and YouTube channel, LV Cornerstone Church. And as I have told you before, if you go to our website, lvcornerstone.com, notice the continuation of the LV Cornerstone. Yeah. lvcornerstone.com are the logos to where you can either click on Facebook or on YouTube, and it'll take you straight to our channel. It is the 9th day of January, a Friday, and meaning that we will not go till 10 minutes after the hour of 7. We will cut off just a few minutes before 7 o'clock because of programming that we have, namely rebroadcast of Sunday sermon during the 7 o'clock hour on Friday morning. So that's the conflict there. And that's what we play for a long time. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ernie. And good morning, Jenny, this morning onto our YouTube. And it looks like more people like the YouTube than the Facebook. I know me personally, myself, YouTube, I use it a lot. But Facebook, all of a sudden, about a month and a half ago, I just got kind of... Anyway, we do have Facebook. Ask Flodo. She will tell you that we have Facebook there, okay? Oh, happy birthday to Joe Gentry this morning. We're not going to ask how many years, but if he wants to throw it in there, Joe Gentry is a regular listener and commenter on our Facebook site, so we got to tell Joe happy birthday. We got to tell him. Anyway, Kathleen's with us already. Let's get into it this morning. And I will do this, and I will give you that are watching, not just listening, but those that are watching, the view of the Bible program that we have. Leroy Doty just jumped in from Houston, Texas. When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, "What are you doing sitting down?" No, he didn't say that. According to the New King James Bible, he said, "Why do you look at one another?" Okay, we've been through this. We're looking specifically at the son of Jacob, would he be the 10th or the 11th? I think he would be the 11th son of Jacob. His name was Joseph. Coat of many colors. Brothers threw him in a pit, sold him to not the Amalekites, could have been the Amalekites, but it just happened to be the Ishmaelites. They're related. Amalekites and Ishmaelites are related to each other. Okay, one of these days we'll get into that. But taking him to Egypt. From Egypt, he gets bought by Potiphar, who is one of the guards over the Pharaoh, and he's faithful in Potiphar's house until his wife, Potiphar's wife, accuses him of trying to take advantage of her. They throw him in prison, okay? And he's been in prison for years, at least 2+ years that he's been in prison. He had interpreted dreams. Most of you know the story. The baker was killed according to the dream interpretation, just the way that God had showed Joseph and interpreted it over to the baker. But the butler had been restored to his position, and Joseph had asked the butler, when you get back to the palace and you're talking to Pharaoh, remind him that there's a Hebrew young man here, now about 30 years old, actually 28, because he was going to be in prison for another 2 years before, as we say in northern New Mexico, that the that the butler finally snapped. Hello. He finally snapped and said, "Oh, yeah, Pharaoh, you had a dream and I had a dream. When I was in prison, I had a dream and there was this guy who, and I think he's still there. Well, go get him. Go clean him up. Give him a bath. Shave shower. Put a little foo-foo juice on over there, and let's get on over there and let's see what this guy has, because none of my magicians and soothsayers are able to. And Joseph approaches to him. They tell him about the 7 fat, the 7 skinny cows, the 7 fruitful grain heads, and the 7 gaunt and skinny ones, and the eating up of the weak to the prosperous, I guess is what you would say. And Joseph says, "Oh, that's easy, man. I got that one. We got 7 years of good." And then following right behind that is going to 7 years of bad harvest. And here's what I would do if I were you. And the Pharaoh tells Joseph, well, you know what? You can do it because you're number 2 now. You're the only one that's higher in the whole government of Egypt. And Joseph has this way, and we've been talking about how God deals with a heart, God deals with a man, and God prepares his people as he sees their desire and moves them over from just the salvation. I love the salvation line, but there's another line called the discipleship that you transition over, and Joseph is a disciple. Same way that his father Jacob was, and he even changed his name to Israel to show the difference in his life. And all of this has been going on. And now Joseph is walking around with all the gold chains, you know what I mean, and all the sunglasses, and he's got the I think he's from Hispaniola, and he has the low riders that are bumping up and bumping down, and he's the man, number 2 in all of Egypt. And they've been setting aside 20%, of all the harvest in the 7 fat years. They've been setting up 20%, because by the word of the Lord, the Pharaoh and Joseph know that the lean years are coming. So they've been, and it got to the point where they had to build more barns, more silos, more storage facilities, and they even stopped counting how many bushels or how much stuff they had. And there's a famine. We're in the middle of a famine that's not just in Egypt, but it's all around the Middle East and Northern Africa, at least. But Egypt, because of the wisdom of God, has food. Now, Jacob/Israel did not know about the 7 good and the 7 bad years, because they're in Canaan. 11 sons, a father named Jacob. They didn't know. God did not reveal it to them. But God has a plan. Only, Joe? Only? Oh, just a kid at 67 years old. George, what do you think about this guy? Only 67. And he still works. He's still a hardworking guy, old Joe Gentry. When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, okay, so you know the backstory if you haven't been following along with us. Jacob said to his sons, "Why do you look at one another? What are you doing over there just picking your nose?" Well, come on, we don't say that. Yes, we do say that on radio. What are you just doing over there just looking at one another? Well, what do we do, man? I don't know what to do. Yeah. Well, he said, "Indeed, I have heard that there was grain in Egypt. Go down to that place and buy us there, for us there, that we may live and not die." And once again, I'm using the New King James Version. If you're using King James, ESV, ASV, NASB, MSG, there's a multitude of translations in English that you could be using. And they're all going to say a little bit different, but really down to the same thing. In fact, I am going to do a study on the difference between biblical Hebrew and biblical Greek, because Mr. Missler brings it up on today's program that you will hear this morning at 8:33. Sounds like an interesting topic. And he said, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt." I mean, he was just walking down the streets of Shechem, or maybe he was down in Beersheba. Probably Beersheba is probably where he's at, down on the southern part. And he heard somebody at the local coffee shop saying, "Hey, man, did you hear that there might be some food in Egypt?" What? What'd you say? Well, he says, "I have heard that there is grain in Egypt, and our grain is the stock is going down. Go down to that place and buy for us there, that we may live and not die. If we don't find some food pretty quick," he says, and watch this. Watch this. Bigger story. I like looking at the bigger story. God has a covenant that he has made with Abraham, with his son Isaac, with his son Jacob, with Jacob's sons and the generations. It's an eternal, people don't understand this, but it's an eternal covenant. And Mr. Missler is going to cover it today. It's not because they were such good people, that they were such holy people. God says that for his holy name, he is going to bring about the covenant. This is just the beginning in our aspect, because here we are 4,000 years later or so. Let me get you a timestamp and a more or less. Oh, yeah, we're talking about 1700 BC, so we're talking about 3,700 years ago, give or take a few hundred years before friends, okay? And God made this covenant, and we're looking at back 300 to 700 years ago. My God. And God still has a plan, and he hasn't finished his plan. His covenant is eternal with these people. And he's going to complete the covenant, not because they're the cat's pajamas. Joe, did you look it up? Did you figure it out? But he's going to complete it because he backed it up with his holy name. And the big picture here is that God is not going to let the Hebrew people, the sons of Abraham, die in Canaan. And he has been setting this thing all up and orchestrating events. So Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But, wait. There's 12 sons. One of them is, and Jacob thinks one of them, his favorite, Joseph, with a coat of many colors, is dead, but he's not dead. Yeah, where is he? If he's not dead, where is he? Well, he's not in the pit, he's not in Potiphar's house, and he's not in prison. He's in the palace. Little did they know. Oh, God has a plan. So there's 12 brothers. One of them is MIA, and only 10 go. Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin. So Joseph and Benjamin were born by his favorite wife, Rachel. Leah, Rachel's sister, had 6 sons. Their mates had 2 sons each from Jacob. That's where we get the 12 from. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he said, lest some calamity befall on him. He says, if I can't have Joseph, at least I have his brother from my favorite wife, Rachel, and second best, because she was first best. And I can't send them. What happened if you guys don't come back? I imagine you and the 9 other brothers going down over there, and you, well, I don't. Here we go again. I wonder if he's going to make a coat of many colors for Benjamin now. He didn't, but the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. So other people are traveling. Let's all go down to Egypt. No, that's not the song. Okay. Let's all go down to buy grain. The sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan, and in Egypt, and in Ethiopia, and in Libya, and probably in Gaza, Philistia. Now, Joseph was governor over the land. And it was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. Now, Joseph is in charge, according to the rule of Pharaoh, of all of this activity that's going on, because not only did he interpret the dream properly, specifically, but he has been authorized by Pharaoh to take control of the situation, because Joseph had the plan. Even before he was appointed by Pharaoh, he says, get 20% during the good years, store it up, and then we'll take care of the people. And we'll make a little money on the side, of course. You know what I mean? 20%. So he's selling to all the people of the land. You know, I'm sure, well, here's my guess. And we guess a lot here. You know, good morning, Tomas. Good morning, Mary Jane. Good morning, Jody Roybal. Yeah, I don't have that song, Joe. Anyway, if I do, I'll play it for you at the end of the program, okay? I won't sing. I won't sing Las Mañanitas for you, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin your day. Now, Joseph is. I would imagine that people are handing over the title to their lands, to their houses, to everything. Say, man, this is all I got. Okay, well, we'll take care of you guys. Okay, he sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brother came and bowed down. So other lands are coming too, not just the Egyptians are coming. Joseph saw his brothers. After they came, he recognized them. They bowed down before him. Wasn't there a dream about was it the sheaves? Yeah, wasn't it the sheaves that were going to bow down to Joseph's sheaves? Oh, and they didn't like that at all. They were not real happy with that. We better play a song. I'm sorry, but we got to play a song. Get us to the bottom of the hour weather report and check out road conditions and school closings if they impact us here in Las Vegas at all. Joseph recognized his brothers, verse 8, but they did not recognize him as they're bowing down to the ground. Say, sir, please, please. Please, sir, maybe a little bushel or two.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. Not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou my best thought by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, and I thy true Son. Thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one. Riches I heed not, nor man's empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always. Thou and thou only first in my heart. the sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O ruler of
Well, good morning, Las Vegas. You're listening to KLYN 90.3 FM. It is a Friday morning, 7 o'clock. 22 degrees is our 7 o'clock a.m., okay? Just 22 degrees, feels like 14 out there. Here's what the weatherman says. The possibility for today, snow showers likely. Actually, they're giving still a 70% chance before 2 o'clock this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies. Northeast wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now tonight, a low around 7 degrees. If you still have that hose connected or you don't have the hose bib, properly prepared, you better do it today, okay? Saturday, sunny, high near 43 degrees, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour in the morning, and then Sunday, sunny, high near 47, northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. So today's the day if we're going to get it according to the National Weather Service. Now, another thing that we're telling you is about roads up and around Wagon Mound, I-25 North, I-20, that was still I-25. I-25, actually it's supposed to be south, but it would be west from Glorieta to Santa Fe, and up around the Pecos and Mora area, which is not I-25. There are difficult driving conditions. Okay, and no closings in our area. Cimarron would probably be the closest one that I found that would have any delays or closings because of the weather. So you got to go to school. You got to go to work. Anyway, looks like it's snowing out there in the Espanola area, according to Andrea, if I'm interpreting her message right. So Joseph recognized his brothers. Let's go back there. Okay, how do I do this? And they did not recognize him. Joseph saw his brothers, recognized them, but he acted as a stranger to them, verse 7, and spoke roughly to them. Then he said to them, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." Now, Joseph, this is no surprise. We got people coming from all over that part of the world. There's grain in Egypt. Our stocks are running low. People coming from the north, south, the east, and the west. Everybody saying, we got to eat. And I hear that there's food in Egypt. And you can bet your sweet bippy that Egypt is making a shiny little dime on all this stuff. Okay? 66 degrees and heavy rain in Huntsville, Alabama. We could use that rain. We need some moisture. God knows, though. God knows exactly what we need, and He takes care of us. His favor is over the greater Las Vegas area. Thank you for your prayers for the greater Las Vegas area. God is answering those. Anyway, who are you? Huh? Huh? If Joseph was an eater of menudo and enchiladas, he would say, "¿Y tú quién eres? Huh? ¿De dónde eres?" They said, "From Canaan to buy food." Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. I mean, the dude, he's got the Egyptian look on him now, man. He's spiked hair and earrings all over the place, and Then Joseph remembered the dreams he had dreamed about them and said to them, "You are spies." Is Joseph going to fall off the spiritual wagon? Is this Joseph's opportunity to say, "Okay, dude, now it's my chance. Now it's my turn, and I am going to remember what you did to me." And I remember that I told. So Joseph remembered the dreams which you dreamed them. And he said to them, "You're spies." So My question to you this morning, is Joseph finally falling? I mean, we've been holding Joseph in high esteem. Okay, so he was a little braggadocio when he was in Canaan, but he did okay in the pit, didn't stay there very long, did real good in Potiphar's house, stayed there for a while, did real good in prison, is doing real good in the palace. Notice I'm using the palace now according to Jeff instead of Pharaoh, okay? Try to keep the P's there up in front. Keep your P's and Q's, right? So now is he going to say, oh, man, this is it, dude? Now, is he going to get into the flesh now or not? That's the question. One of the questions that we can ask ahead of time. And those are the questions. I'm telling you, when you read the Bible, you have to be able to understand to the point to where you start asking a lot of questions and slow down, read your Bible. What does that word mean? A lot of words in the Bible, even in the English Bible, I have to go to the dictionary and really, I think I know. Kind of reminds me of grade school when they gave you 10 words and they told you to give the definition. Well, I think I know what that means. Más o menos. Morde. And we slow down here on the early morning program. Say, what about Joseph? Is Joseph is he going to exact retribution from his brothers? He recognized them. They don't recognize him. He says, you're spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. I know what you're here for. He says, you're here for just you're trying to take Egypt over, aren't you? You're spies. You probably come from some big country way far away, maybe Assyria, Babylon, someplace out of it. He says, you've come to see the naked. He's trying to see where the weak parts of the land is. They said to him, no, my Lord, your servants have come to buy food. Let's check them out first. This is what I see Joseph doing. Joseph said, let's check these guys out. Let's see what's happened over the last 13, 15 years or so. Because he was 17 when they threw him in the pit. He's 30 years old when they lifted him out of prison. So it's 13 plus years. Where has these guys? These are the guys that said no. These are the guys that threw me in the pit. Are they really? We are one man's sons. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies. Oh, but they're Hebrews. They're perfect. No, the Hebrews aren't perfect people any more than the Greeks and the Europeans and the North Americans. They're not. We're all sinners and we all fall short of the glory. We are all one man's sons. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies. But he said to them, no, you have come to see the nakedness of the land. Oh, my God, he's putting the pressure on his brothers. Okay, maybe we're having a little fun with the brothers. I don't know. I take my own imagination with me into the Bible and ask the Holy Spirit to blow on it. Your servants are 12 brothers. Verse 13, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more. He says, no, we're not spies, man. We're your servants. We're 12 brothers. There's 12 of us and our daddy. And you don't know him. You don't know his name. You never heard about him. But we heard about you. The sons of one man in the land of Canaan. We come from the north. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today. And one is no more. Is one no more, or is one standing in front of him? Joseph said to them, it is as I spoke to you, saying you are spies. In this manner you shall be tested. You prove to me that you're not spies. You prove to me that you're honest men. You prove to me that you're the sons of one father, and that you come from Canaan, and that one of the sons has been left behind. By the life of Pharaoh, verse 15, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Says, I'll tell you what, send one of you. Let him bring your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words may be tested to see whether there is any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies. So they go to the motel room. And they're saying, what the heck are we going to do, man? They're all sitting around. It's probably the tent, that they have out over there. That's the motel room. But they're all sitting around. What are we going to do, man? He's going to throw us all into prison except one of us. And which one of us is going to go? Is it Jacob? Is it Simeon? Who is it going to go? It can't be Benjamin because Benjamin's back home. So one of us is going to go. The rest of us are going to be in prison. And he's not going to let us go until we come back with our youngest brother. Dad doesn't want to let go of Benjamin. That's the closest thing that he has to Joseph, and Joseph is the closest thing that he has to Rachel, his wife of his youth. So he put them all together in prison 3 days. Okay, they weren't in in the hotel room. They weren't in Days End, okay? Put them all together in prison 3 days. Then Joseph said to them on the third day, do this and live, for I fear God. Ooh, that's a big one. No. Now he says, listen, gather all these guys. Where's those 10 brothers or so? Bring them before me. Yes, sir, the warden says. Captain of the guard. Then Joseph said to them on the third day, do this and live, for I fear God. Crack. I fear Elohim. This is not Yahweh. This is Elohim, which is a very generic name for God. You can say, I believe in God, and I can ask you, what God are you talking about? You're talking about the God of Hinduism, the God of Muslims, the God of the Mormons, the God of the Jehovah Witnesses. Which God are you talking about? Or the God of the Bible? Which one are you talking about? So when he says, I fear God, well, your God fears, so your God fears. We got our God, you got your God, but they didn't know it was the same God he was talking. If you are honest men, as you say you are, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, but you go and carry grain for the famine of your houses. He says, we'll just keep one behind, and we'll let the rest of you guys go. And if you want grain, we'll sell you a little bit of grain. If you want more, you got to come back with your brother. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, but you go and carry grain for the famine of your houses, and bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you shall not die. And they did so. Doesn't say this. I don't know where I got this from. And they did so. So who's going to stay? Who's going to go? Who's going to what? One of them stays behind in the prison house, and the other ones go. And if they want, then they said to one another, we are truly guilty concerning our brother. Now they're talking amongst them. And they're talking about Joseph. They don't even know they're talking about. They're talking about the number 2 man in Egypt, and they don't even know they're talking about the number 2 man in Egypt. We are truly guilty concerning our brother. For we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore, this distress has come upon us. So their reduction was at the introduction to the pit. They said, man, Remember when we threw him in the pit and he cried and he said, "Don't do this to me. Come on, guys. Come on, please don't do this." The anguish of his soul, he pleaded with us and we would not hear. And now we're reaping what we have sowed. We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore, this distress has come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Did I not speak to you, saying, Do not sin against the boy? You would not listen. Yeah, Reuben, you had your own little ulterior motive going on, and we understand that. I mean, come on, Reuben ain't clean in this. Reuben wasn't the guy that was trying to defend Joseph. Reuben was the guy who was trying to look good in front of Jacob/Israel because he had lost his position and he wanted to regain it with his father, by pulling him out of the pit. You remember that story? It wasn't just a couple of days ago we were there. Did not I speak to you, saying, Do not sin against the boy? And you would not listen. Therefore, behold, his blood is now required of us. Yeah. 13 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever. I told you guys. But they did not know, verse 23, that Joseph understood them. Joseph is in front of them. They're speaking in their native language. You know how we do this. Every once in a while, you go to your second language because it's you and somebody else's that knows the language. You don't know that the guy that you're trying to hide the language from knows what you're saying. And you could say, pues ese vato no me caes. And you could say all kinds of things, and he knows what you're talking about. But they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. Oh, he's playing the game, brother. He's playing the game all the way to the end. And he turned himself away from them and wept. All of a sudden, he had to go to the other room. He returned to them again and talked with them. And he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. Simeon, what was he, the second born? I think second or third born. He was in the top three, I believe, from Leah. And he gets Simeon and he says, okay, that one, you're the one, you're staying behind. And he handcuffs him right in front of the brothers. And little did they know that he understood everything that they were saying. But he still has a heart. Watch this. He turned himself away. His heart has not been hardened. And he wept. Then, how much time do I have? I have enough time. Joseph gave a command to fill their sacks with grain, to restore every man's money to his sack, to give them provisions for journey. Thus he did for them. So Joseph told the guys under him, okay, fill their sacks with grain. And he says, don't tell them, but put their money back into the sack and give them some food and provisions, water, food, whatever they're going to need so that they can go back home. Thus he did for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and departed from there. At least they're going home with something, okay? It ain't the mother load, but they're going home with something. But as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey feed at the encampment, he saw his money. There it was in the mouth of his sack. So they start traveling back to Canaan. It gets dark, set up the tents, get ready to, have a restful, hopefully, night and, talk more about what they've seen and what's going to happen when they get there. And one of them opens up his sack to give the donkeys some food, and there his money was. You're kidding me. He said to his brothers, my money has been restored, and there it is in my sack. Then their hearts failed them, and they were afraid. Oh, the pressure is getting greater upon the brothers of Joseph. One of them's left behind. 9 of them going back home. And one of them has his money in his sack. Their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying to one another, what is this that Elohim God has done to us? Oh, God, what are you doing? You know how you blame God? You know how we always blame God? You know, you get with people, you start talking with people, and they've had a death in the family. I don't know why God allowed this. And well, how about the devil? Do you believe in the devil? You believe the devil could have taken them away from you? You could have been there. Well, but what is this that God has done to us? Why is God doing this to us? Oh, my God. Their hearts failed them, and they were afraid. They've been accused of being spies to check out the nakedness of the land. And now it ain't looking too good, senor. Then they went to Jacob, their father, in the land of Canaan, and told him all that had happened to them, saying, the man who is Lord of the land spoke roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. But we said to him, we are honest men, we are not spies. That's where Jacob drops his coffee cup and has to pick it up again and refill it. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is with our father this day in the land of Canaan. Then the man, the Lord of the country, said to us, by this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for the famine of your household and be gone. Oh, yeah. That's what and they're telling the story exactly the way we've seen it already. I will grant your brother to you, and you may trade in the land. Then it happened as they emptied their sacks that surprisingly each man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. So they had only opened up one sack to feed the donkeys. They get home, tell dad the story. They open up the sack so that they can start, we got servants and we got sisters and we got other grandsons and great-grand, we got a few people going on, 70 of them really. And they open up their sacks and there's their bundles of money. Silver coins, gold nuggets. I don't know. It wasn't silver dollars minted in Denver, Colorado, okay, or Philadelphia. Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bereaved me. Joseph is no more. Simeon is no more. And you want to take Benjamin? All these things are against me. Oh, Jacob, throwing his little pity party. Oh, Jacob, just saying, you guys have been rough sons to me. Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bereaved me. Let's see what the Message Bible says. Sometimes they dress it up a little bit. Their father said to them, you're taking everything I've got. Joseph's gone, Simeon's gone. Now you want to take Benjamin? If you have your way, I'll be left with nothing. Reuben spoke up, still in the Message translation. I'll put my 2 sons in your hands as hostages. If I don't bring Benjamin back, you can kill them. Trust me with Benjamin. I'll bring him back. He says, listen, here's 2 of my sons. You take them. But Jacob, not Benjamin, but slow down, Mr. Size, slow down. Jacob refused. My son will not go down with you. His brother is dead, and he is all I have left. If something bad happens to him on the road, you'll put my gray saurian head in the grave. Back to the New King James. Good morning, Chana. Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bereaved me. Joseph is no more. Simeon is no more. You want to take Benjamin? All these things are against me. Then Reuben spoke to his father, saying, kill my 2 sons. Ooh, that's a little bit different from the Message. He says, kill my 2 sons if I don't ever. Oh, Yeah, as a father, wow, that's big time. Kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you. Give me Benjamin. I'll take care of him all the way over and all the way back. And if I don't come back, you can do whatever you want with my 2 sons. But he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead. He is left alone. If any calamity should befall him along the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave. So he says, nope. Jacob says, that ain't happening. Notice, as we get ready to close, notice that sometimes they call him Jacob and sometimes they call him Israel. Is that important? I don't know if it is or not. But let's put a bookmark on chapter 43, and Monday at 6:10, we should be back at the 43rd chapter of the book of Genesis. But I have a feeling some of you guys are going to start reading some of these chapters more than ever before and find out how's it go. This is the way this works. How is this going to end? How is this going to end? What is going to happen here to all this stuff? I want to know how this is going to happen. Yep, that's the way that we read the Bible. We say, how is this going to happen? Okay, Joe Gentry, you wanted it? You got it, buddy. But it'll cost you. Vicente Fernández.
Son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser día de tu santo, te las cantamos aquí. Despierta, mi bien, despierta. Mira que ya amaneció. Ya los pajaritos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte. Venimos todos con gusto y placer a felicitarte. El día en que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores. En la pila del bautismo cantaron los ruiseñores. Ya viene amaneciendo, ya la luz del día nos dio. Levántate de mañana, mira que ya amaneció. Bajarte las estrellas y un lucero para poder demostrarte lo mucho que yo te quiero. Con jazmines y flores este día quiero adornar. Hoy por ser día de tu santo venimos a cantar.
Well, good morning, Las Vegas. You are listening to KLYN 90.3 FM, a ministry of Cornerstone Church. It is a Friday morning, 9th day of January. On 7 o'clock in the morning is when we play our what do we call it? Our Sunday sermon is when we play our Sunday sermon. We got a song for you first, and then we'll get into Sunday sermon. And we invite you to Cornerstone Church every Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning for our regular Sunday service. Yes, we have more than a Sunday service. Here's Don Moen.